Hello everyone, greetings. I'm going to talk today about the wheel of samsara, or the wheel of confusion and delusion and suffering and pain, according to Buddhism. This is another in a series of short videos that I'm making about Buddhism. So this is the wheel that I want to show you today. And as you can see, it has one guy who's holding, guy or demon, who's holding the whole wheel. This is Mara or Yama. It's the devil, but it's also meant to signify the ego. We have a center spoke, and the center spoke has three animals, which is a pig, a snake, and a rooster. And these represent the three root poisons, the three root emotions that cause suffering within us. So the rooster represents passion or grasping or desire, this ignorant form of passion. We have the snake, which represents aggression or hatred or anger. And the pig, because the pig rolls around in his own muck, represents delusion or ignorance. Then we have beings here that are descending and ascending, or descending and ascending the wheel, because the wheel is divided into 6 different realms. The 6 realms are the God realm, the jealous God realm, the human realm, the animal realm, the hungry ghost realm, and the hell realm, or the hell's realms, because there's hot hells and there's cold hells. And then we have these 12 links in the chain, which I won't go into much detail today. Today I'm going to focus on the 6 realms. So this is all based on, and outside, of course, outside of the wheel we have all of the Buddhas that have been freed from the cycle of rebirth, from the cycle of suffering, of rebirth in these realms. And these realms are both meant to be taken as literal realms, and they're also meant to be taken as psychological states of mind. So some people don't believe there's an actual hell realm, but that hell is what happens when we become very angry. And this is all based on the Abhidharma, which is Buddhist ontology. What exists, or how do we know what exists to be real? What is real? So let's start in the hell realms. We have the hot and the cold realms. The hot hell realms are basically the realms of anger. And the cold ones are basically the realms of isolation. So whenever we mentally feel completely angered, there's no space. So in hell, it's said that there is no space. In Buddhist ontology, in the Abhidharma, where there is space, there is mind. Space is actually synonymous to mind because it's boundless, it's limitless, it's luminous, and it's empty. And all phenomena appear within it and then dissolve from it. So space is all enduring, mind is all enduring. But in hell, seemingly, there's no space. So in all of these realms, we have a Buddha appearing. Except in hell. In hell there's no Buddha, there's this little demon who is enlightened. This is a Buddha, it's called a Heruka. And this Heruka is the only way the Buddha can appear in hell, is in this enraged and wrathful form. So because the mind is primordially limitless, here there is no mind, there is no space. When we are angry, when we are in a state of mind that is angry, we don't have any space to breathe even. So even with a little space of breath, when we find ourselves angry, that assures us a rebirth in one of the other realms, where it's easier to get out of suffering. This is the most intense amount of suffering is in the hell realms. You can look this image up on Google, and you can see much more detail, much more specificity. Here, I'll put it closer so you can see. So there's the cold hells where the people are drowning, the hot hells, and the Heruka in the center is the Buddha. And the Heruka uses very sharp clear awareness to wake them up, to create some space and have you jump into one of the neighboring realms. Then we have the hungry ghost realm. In the hungry ghost realm, we have something called poverty mentality, where the hungry ghosts, they're never satisfied. The food actually turns into ash whenever it touches their lips. They have very long necks, very small mouths, very big bellies. They're always hungry. And so these three root poisons manifest in the realms. So in these lower realms, these three lower realms, here we have aggression, and here we have passion or desire in the hungry ghost realm. And these hungry ghosts, they always are desiring. And the Buddha here is this enriching yellow Buddha, which represents enriching. Because once we feel enriched, once we feel satisfied, grateful, then we're no longer always desiring. When we don't have gratitude, we can have all of the resources available and we'll still feel like something's missing. So that's the hungry ghost realm. That's what the hungry ghost realm represents. And of course, the animal realm represents ignorance or delusion within the three poisons, the three root poisons, which are, again, passion, aggression, and ignorance. So the animals, a lot of people here, they say animals, why are they included in this wheel of suffering? Some people say animals are not suffering, they're already enlightened. And it's true that animals have Buddha nature. All beings have Buddha nature. Our essence is Buddha nature. But animals, they often suffer because of their ignorance, because they don't know of what's going on. So their passions that drives them towards doing things that aren't good for them. Animals, for the most part, can be very stupid. Now, plants are not included here. Plants are not considered sentient beings. They're not considered to have a nervous system, and they're not considered to be able to feel anything. That's why when you bite a carrot, the carrot doesn't suffer. So it's not considered sentient. That's why sometimes Buddhists say, may all sentient beings be liberated from suffering. Because non-sentient beings, like a carrot or like an ear of corn, is not sentient. So these are the three lower realms. The hell realm, which represents anger. The animal realm, which represents passion or desire or ignorance. The animal realm represents ignorance. And the hungry ghost realm represents passion or desire. Just this constant desire. And then we move to the three upper realms, where again, these three root poisons manifest. But in a much more refined way. So here we have the human realm. The human realm is considered to be the most advantageous realm in which we can wake up, in which we can escape this whole wheel. So the human realm is where we want to be reborn. It's the most precious realm we can be born into. That's why a human birth is called a precious human birth. The human realm is driven mostly by work. People are working in the human realm. There's also a lot of depression and sadness, but that sadness is what we need in order to wake up to the Four Noble Truths, which I explained in another video and which I will explain further in another video. The human realm is the most fortunate realm to be born into. It's the only realm where Dharma is actually legible. Because if we were to be born in the God realm, we would be too blissed out. In the God realm, the gods are way too happy. They're way too blissed out to care, to even know that they're suffering. But the gods, they're there because they've accumulated a lot of good karma. The problem is that good karma runs out. And as soon as it runs out, they find themselves in a hell realm. Or in a jealous God realm. The jealous God realm is ruled by speed, paranoia. Everyone is against you. You think everyone is against you. It's bad enough that humans are dissatisfied with ourselves. You know, it's bad enough that we hate our own conditions. For the most part, it's said, us humans, we're dissatisfied with what we have, or we're afraid of losing what we have. It's bad enough that we also wish that other people were not happy, or we wish for other people to not be as happy as they are. That's pretty sad, but that's true for the most part. It's how our mind is set up to work. It's how our ego mind is set up to work. The enlightened mind is happy. It knows that there's no limited pie. If if happiness were a cake, there's enough slices to go around. But the jealous God mind, it already has enough, but it wants more. So the jealous gods are shown as they're always trying to shoot down the gods. They're trying to attack the gods, and the gods, of course, can't be bothered because they're too happy. So I leave these realms as a reflection to our mental states, so that when you're meditating, you might find yourself caught in one of these realms. And it's okay to find yourself in a human realm where you have to work, or where you just find yourself with a lot of sadness. As far as the nidanas go, the links in the chain of suffering, I just want to touch on the first one. It's called the blind grandmother. And the reason it's called this way is because the blind grandmother, what characterizes her is this phrase of, things have always been done this way. And because things have always been done this way, we continue to do them this way. It's the tradition. And this is the root, or the first link in the chain of suffering, is this ignorance, this generational, traditional ignorance of saying, things have always been done this way, so we'll continue to do them this way. If we want to cut the chain of suffering, we need to look for new ways of thinking. We need to realize that reality is always changing. If we follow blindly how things have always been done, then we'll be perpetuating slavery, we'll be perpetuating sexism, all of these things that have driven us as a species to places where we don't want to be. I'll give you one last glance at the wheel so you can look at it. Of course, Yama holds the skulls. These skulls represent egos that have been cut off. So once we cut off our egos, sort of like Hindu mythology shows Kali with a necklace of skulls. These are all the egos that we try to accumulate. And as we go through our journey towards enlightenment, we cut down our ego, who we think we are, our sense of self. The Dalai Lama says that there's two causes to our negative emotions. And the first one is this self-centered attitude. Me, mine, I. That's the first cause of our negative emotions. The second one is that we really mistake reality for how it appears. We think reality is just as it appears, and we don't look further. So when you meditate, when you sit down and meditate, be sure to allow for your mind to be open to something new, to a question, and not always looking to answer things the way it's always been done, as the blind grandmother says. Thank you very much for joining me on this short journey through the 6 realms of samsara. I hope you have an excellent day, and I'll see you soon again.